Greetings, everyone. A very warm welcome to another edition of Exhausted to Extraordinary, a mindset hack series with me, Dr. Sharon Grossman. And today I'm joined by Elizabeth Saunders. A very warm welcome to you from Miami Beach. And where are you hanging out?
I'm in Michigan, so Southeast Michigan, right down here.
Oh, very nice. And how long have you been there for?
A little over 12 years.
Oh, okay, so
So
a nice long
yeah,
time.
it's been a while.
It has been a while. Well, I am brand new to Miami Beach, so literally like very new. So it's been a journey. For those of you who don't know Elizabeth, she is the founder and CEO of Real Life E, a time coaching company that empowers individuals who feel guilty, overwhelmed, and frustrated to feel peaceful, confident, and accomplished. She was named one of the world's top 30 time management professionals. The Christian division of her company focuses on a God-centered approach to time management through divine time management group coaching. So if group coaching around time management and Christian values and all the things we just mentioned sounds like you, then listen up, because in just 7 minutes, Elizabeth is going to share with you how to say no nicely. So Elizabeth, our clock starts now. Question number one, what are the biggest challenges your ideal client faces?
The biggest challenges they face are really having their time aligned with their priorities and saying no to the things that are not aligned with their priorities.
Okay. Question number two, what are the typical symptoms that they experience with that problem?
So the typical symptoms are that they're very, very busy doing a lot of things, but the things that are most important to them personally or professionally are not getting done and getting delayed or set aside for other people's priorities.
I certainly know a lot of people like that. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. Question number three, what are the common mistakes they make when they're trying to solve that problem?
So I would say one of the biggest mistakes is just trying to make it all work. So they're pushing, trying to work harder, work faster, work longer, squeeze things in at night, squeeze things in on the weekends, and trying to fit everything in instead of really asking themselves, what is most important? What do I really want in my schedule? And what are the things that aren't going to get done right now?
Yeah. And I mean, just from experience, I know because I focus in on burnout. That's how people burn out, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So really important. Question number four. What would be an example of a transformation that's possible after this challenge is properly diagnosed?
For sure. So I'm happy to talk about one of my recent clients, actually someone that I'm still working with right now.
Perfect.
And when she came to me, she just had a crazy schedule. She was an early bird and would start work quite early, like 5:30 or 6 in the morning.
Wow.
Her boss was a night owl and would have meetings late. She wouldn't even start meetings until 10 a.m. and then would often have them in the night or even on the weekends. So my coaching client was working just these ridiculously long hours and trying to make everything work for everyone else, and was frustrated because she didn't have time for her family or for her health or for other things that were important to her. And so we really worked on this whole concept of not having to do everything and not having to say yes to everyone. And so instead of just trying to buck it up and keep working 12, 14-hour days or longer, what we had her do is really think about what schedule she wanted for her, what worked for her, what didn't work for her. During the times when she didn't want to be available, so after she was done working for her day, she stopped answering her phone. So she just stopped answering her phone, stopped answering her email. She let her boss know that if her boss wanted her at meetings, that they'd need to be during the day so that she could attend. It's just, you start working at 5:30 or 6, you just can't be attending 8 p.m. meetings. And she really started to block out some focus time for her to get her own work done versus, again, answering all the messages or doing all the meetings or hopping to whatever else everyone wanted her to do. And so I was super proud of her. This felt very vulnerable because it was a very different kind of approach than she'd done in the past. However, she did it, and I'm happy to report she's been working much shorter hours, had time to exercise, like go on walks in the evening or in the morning, had more time with her family. She started taking the weekends completely off. Her boss has realized if she wants her at meetings, she needs to schedule them during the day, and she's just immensely less stressed. So it's been a great win-win of her feeling way better, having way more time for her family, and actually getting a lot of the most important work done.
And, I know a lot of people struggle with this, just as an aside. And it sounds really simple, just saying no, right? But I think there's a lot of value in working with a coach like you, because if it was really that simple, right, then people would have already done it. And I think like there is kind of like a mindset barrier. And that's what we're really here to talk about, right? Is the things that get in the way. So question number 5, what's the number one mindset hack you could give your ideal client to solve that problem?
So I would say the number one mindset hack is, first of all, it's okay to say no. You're not a bad person. You're not mean. Doesn't mean you don't want to help people if you say no. And in fact, saying no helps you better help people and meet their expectations. Because if you say yes to everything, you're not going to end up delivering, and you'll actually end up disappointing people more.
Perfect. So 2 minutes, 5 seconds. And question number 6, what is one valuable free resource that you can direct people to that will further help them with that problem?
Sure. I have a guide to how to say no nicely. So you're going to be able to have the link to that. And it's reallifee.com/say no is one way you can download it. And I'm sure there'll be a link in the notes, and that will be just scripts that you can use either through email or in person to say no in a way that still makes you seem nice.
Awesome. And we'll definitely include that in the show notes. So 1 minute, 25 seconds. And the final question, what's the one question I should have asked you, but didn't, that would give great value to our audience?
So I think one of the things that comes up, particularly for people that always say yes, is does something terrible happen when you start to say no? And I just want to reassure you, typically, no, like nothing terrible happens. People don't tend to get fired or have anything bad happen. As long as you do it in a professional way, you keep your commitments. You're not saying no to everything, but saying no to the things that aren't as important. The world keeps turning. No one actually has an issue with it, and you're totally fine. So I think a lot of the pressure people put on themselves is more thinking something terrible will happen versus that anything actually terrible will happen from them saying no.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Elizabeth, so much for your time and expertise.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Thanks for checking out the Exhausted to Extraordinary podcast. If you like what we do here, head on over to iTunes to subscribe, like us, and leave us a review. It is very much appreciated. And if you're feeling burned out and want to challenge yourself, take the 7-day Burnout to Your Best Life Bootcamp. Go to 7dayburnouchallenge.com to join for free.